Hi everyone. So I forgot to do a intro to this video, but basically what I'm going to be going through in this video is how to blend. One side is going to be set and one side is not going to be set, so pay attention to the time cards because I do put those in just in case you're a person who doesn't set their eye or who does set their eye. Also, the beginning of this video is basically all the brushes that I use. Sorry, Caleb's right there. And if you don't need that part, then that's fine. Now I do show you some brushes at the beginning, like how to do like tight water lining and a couple of brushes that you could do like some detail work in the corner or in the inner corner. I haven't used those brushes in this actual tutorial, but I probably most definitely will use them in the next tutorial so I can show you how to use them. But just bear with me. Love you. Okay, so first I'm gonna start off with some concealer on both sides, obviously, because both sides, you know, require concealer. Okay, now I'm just taking some powder on one side and setting my lid. Okay, so now it's time for brushes. Now, there's definitely something that I have to tell you guys. You do not need all of these brushes. These are all the brushes that I think that you could benefit from, like, you know, doing your under eye waterline or taking an angled brush and like doing your liner. And then there's some other brushes that you could use to just very well, you know, do the inner corner of your eye, like if you wanted to do like a shimmery pop. I don't do that in this video, but you could very well use these pointed brushes to get that desired look either in the inner corner or the outer corner. I think I'm definitely gonna do that in the next video, but this one, I definitely don't use these tools. Okay, so you're basically gonna need 3 brushes and you're gonna be good. So I have duplicates of each brush just in case I need a clean brush. So I basically have a small brush, a very tight brush to use in the crease. And then I have another maybe medium brush that also maybe blends out your crease or blends in your crease with your eyeshadow shade. And the last brush we're going to use is basically for your brow bone and blending out your crease.
So if you guys have this brush, if you don't have this size brush, if you have a little bit bigger, that will also work.
If you're trying to cut out your crease, you could also use these
brushes. Eyeshadow brushes.
I also have these 2 dense brushes that I also like to use to blend in the crease color, but be wary because these brushes are technically kind of cheap and they can wipe away the product, but they can also help blend really well just because they're like tightly packed.
That the smaller tightly packed they are, the more they pack on color. Also have angled crease brushes, and you have to be a little bit skilled in order to do this.
The only reason why I say this is because the angled brushes can give off a certain shape.
Oh, I'm creasing.
Okay, so this last brush I had is a dual brush. It has a very small head for the crease, and then it has this very fluffy end to like blend everything out. These brushes are absolutely amazing.
This is good for a crease color, but not a deep color. So something light. So either base or light color because it's so fat. So
all in all, these are basically the brushes that I am using today. Basically all blending brushes and an eyeshadow brush.
You can basically have as many brushes as you think you need, but make sure that you definitely have a couple on hand that are clean, because then it will help you, that will help you blend. It's good to have extra brushes, but then like if you're not like trying to spend too much money on brushes, then you can go to the dollar store. That's what I do. I go to the dollar store and I get Wet n Wild brushes, which are these ones, the white ones. They're pretty good. I mean, I want to say the first time you use them, they're definitely a little better because they're much more tightly packed. If you do see one of the brushes, I do recommend trying them. It's just that sometimes when you try to dip them into any palette, you really have to get the color off in order for some payoff. But I don't know, they're not bad. They're not great. They're $1. Come on now. For my eyelid creases too much, which it already has, you have one eye that's not powdered down, and the other one that is powdered down. So I will teach you. Okay, so first off, when you're going in with any bright shade, even dark shade at all, so any dark shade or bright shade, and you're putting it in the crease and you're making it a pop of color, you always want to go with a light hand. So I took my e.l.f. brush, and this is not really a light hand, this is actually like a little bit, and there's nothing left. Alright, so I tapped it all off. Great. So let's go back in. Alright, so that's a little bit better. And you are literally going to put it right where those little crease lines are forming. So my eyes crease right there. So you see that natural curve of my eye? I'm going to try and put it in there and nowhere else. Oh, by the way, I'm using this pink color in the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. So upon first initial application, you want to be really careful, especially if it's not set, because the not set eye will take the color so much that if you mess up, it's okay because we can cover it up later. It's just good to keep it in one very tight area. You want to make sure that the line that you're creating that's going around, if you want it to come all the way into your eye, you can also do that with the same brush. You just want to make sure that it's like the same thickness, or if you want to get smaller and smaller, then you want your brush strokes to be very minuscule. So very light hand. Very light hand. Like so light. And then after you notice some of the, like if you don't notice any more color payoff, you can take the rest of what's on your brush and use it towards the front. So if you're not comfortable with how much color is on your brush, usually it goes dark to light. So if you're like here and you have a ton of product on your brush and you're like, what am I gonna do? And you keep tapping it off and you're just scared, go here first, and then get rid of all that product, you know, because you want to darken up that spot. That's an easy spot to start. And then see, I just added all that product, and then there's almost nothing left on my brush. There's probably like a tiny bit of pink. So I'm going to go in at the front and almost like buff it in. See? And in person, it's like it's skipping a little bit right here in the front, but if you keep doing it, if you ever have a skip, so if it ever like has a tiny little line, and see, now it's gone. I had a tiny little line there, and then you just go over it very light-handed, and you keep doing it, and then usually it goes away. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with still with the light hand, and I'm gonna go into the corner. And it all depends on you guys, like how you want your lid to look like. Like if you want the pink to like take some of that lid space, you could do that, or you could keep it like this where you have some lid and you could add like I don't know, like a sparkly color if you really wanted to. Okay, so now I noticed that since I applied my color, I have a tiny little bit of pink coming up right here. See that? See how it's kind of like not straight? So I'm just going to go in there with whatever is on my brush. It's probably nothing, and I'm just going to buff it out. And if it is something, then just go down a little bit. Don't go all the way up, and then you won't have any problems, you know, blending all the way to the gods. And you're also trying to create that curvature too. So if see how my eye goes like around and up. So I'm just following the natural curvature of my eye. You know, sometimes I go against the grain, and when I do my eyes, sometimes I like that little flicker on the outside, but this is just for consistency. Okay, so I went in with a light hand again, and I'm just going over that area. And I'm just very lightly buffing that top liner. It's looking good. Okay, so it's looking good, so I'm gonna, let's see. I saw the Rio edition today, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I want it, but can't afford it. It's okay. Okay, so for some of us, this is completely, like, doable, and, you know, your eye isn't completely pink or ridiculous, but to me, it's not pink enough. So I'm gonna add a little bit more pink on this corner and then in. For a lot of you, you could stop here, seriously. And I'm going in at the very, very tight line, so I'm not really going anywhere crazy. So then after I just did that swipe, there was like a little blockage right there where it looked like it wasn't like that good. So I went in with a light hand and I dusted it out and it blended out. So see, I was able to just create that just with, you know, one brush. And if you want to, I could also, usually I do, I don't know, usually I do something sparkly on my lid, and usually I do like something sparkly up here, and I like mesh it together. Okay, so what am I gonna do? What color should I do? Should I do like a dark burgundy since it's like Valentine's Day-ish? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Okay, so I'm going into the Bling Boss palette by Jacklyn Hill, and I think I'm gonna go in with. Should I go in with Mystique? It's like really dark. I mean, sure, why not at this point? So I'm taking a eyeshadow brush, so a brush that's basically like wide, and it has like, it's very staggered on the side. This brush is so soft, I love it. Okay, so it's gonna look like shit way before it looks good. Okay, so you're just gonna basically put it all over the lid, and it's literally gonna look like a little kid did it. So in order to transition these two colors, you need to pick a color basically that's in between. One that's not too dark, and one that's not too light. So, hold on, let me finish the lid. So now that we have that, we can't use this eyeshadow brush anymore unless we're packing on color onto the lid. So I would not suggest trying to use this to blend. You could either use a really tight brush like this again, but I think I need this in order to use for the other eye, so I think I'm going to save this. Now, you could most definitely go in with this tight brush, but be aware that once you start using it, if you use it to pack on any color, just make sure it's with light hand because it might get overwhelming. So right now I'm just going to use it to basically merge these two colors together and see what happens. Oh my god, it came off. Okay, so it basically came off. Okay, so when something like this happens, so now we have a really nice blend, but now the pigment is gone. So now we have a choice. We could either keep it like this, which it really isn't that bad. It's more like a mauve-y, like dark purple, or if we wanted that dark purple back, we could also put it back on the lid. So I'm going to be a stubborn ass bitch, and that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to use Berry Treasure this time. We can go in with the same eyeshadow brush because it's like this, almost the same dark color. Woo! Next level. This is glittery, holy crap. Okay, so again, now it looks bad. Okay, so now I'm going to take another color and I'm going to take a more fluffy brush. So a blending brush that's in between sizes. So a blending brush that's not too small and a blending brush that's not too big. So a medium blending brush. And let's see. What is a safe color to go in between? So whatever color you choose, it could literally take it one way or the other. So I have purple and I have pink on my lid. So I mean, I could very well do this purple. I could do Rockstar, technically. Yeah, let's do Rockstar. So Rockstar is like a dark mauve color, so that will turn the color of our pink, and then that will merge in the dark color. At this point, the darker color looks like liner. Like, look at it. So I'm not mad at it. So this is also what happens in makeup. You make happy mistakes. That's a happy mistake. To me, it's a happy mistake because it looks like glitter liner. It looks like glitter purple liner. So it looks cute. So you could stop here, or you could just add some more matte shade on the top. Like, so if it doesn't look blended to you, or if you want to add in a little glow underneath your eyebrow, by all means, you can do that. You can do that. I'm going to leave it how it is. Okay, so now I'm basically going to take the same e.l.f. brush and I'm going to do almost the exact same thing on this side, but this side is powdered down. It's getting late and I'm tired. Okay, so with the powder down side, you don't really have to go too light of a hand because I did not go into the palette yet. I just used the dirty brush, and this is what's happening. So I would say just keep doing this until you get basically the same shape. Just use all that product that you can. Sorry. Use all the product that you can so you don't waste anything. This is crazy. This is just left over on the brush. It's actually really good to blend like this, because like with a little bit on your brush, just because it's so much easier. Before I get into this eye, I must say that this eye is definitely for the person who has a little bit more time and to play with everything, because there is room for more mistake. With this eye, because you have set it, you're kind of creating a nice canvas, that's not tacky, because the tackiness really, really picks up on the pigment and on the eyeshadow, and sometimes it's not exactly a good thing. And when you set your eye like this, it only really goes where you have gone over it multiple times. So if you have the time to blend out, this eye would be good for you. But if you also are impatient and you're kind of just scared of color and pigment and it going in the wrong place, I suggest you set your eye. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, with the set down eye, it's actually really, really easy to get in this corner without it like grabbing too much pigment. So you remember how I told you guys that when you're doing this eye, if you're blending and you have too much product on your eye, you don't want to put it on an area where you don't want that much, pigment, because then it won't turn out right, obviously. So, you could blend it in an area that does need the pigment, kind of like right here. But you really don't have to do that with the eye that's set. So earlier I was explaining that when you have too much on your brush, don't do an area that needs only a little bit of coverage, because you're just basically setting yourself up for doom. But this eye, you really don't have to worry about it, because it literally like lets you blend. It like gives you a chance to like get pigment on there without being like, whoops, it's there forever, can't change it. Sometimes matte can get you like that. Oh goodness, I just rhymed. Okay, so I'm really like lightly dusting it. If you really want to pack on some color, I suggest small circular motions. That helps too, especially if you don't want to like go outside of your crease too much. Okay, so what did I do next? I took my eyeshadow brush and then I went in to Bling Boss and I used Mystique. I almost said Dominatrix. Okay, so I used Mystique. Ooh, still so much pigment, even though I set my eye. Okay, so technically I did make a mistake on the first eye, so you always have to repeat that mistake because your eyes could look different. So after I put this eyeshadow on, I'm going to take this brush, which was the bad idea, but you still have to do it. So let's go in, just basically take off what we basically just put on and buff it out. So it almost looks seamless between those two colors. Okay? It's very easy. It's not hard at all. It's very easy to blend. Okay, and then you're going to go back in to the other color, Berry Treasure. And going to pack that all over the lid. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so glittery. Oh. Now I must say, this is usually not something I go for. This is like totally out of my comfort zone, like blending these crazy colors together and coming up with this crazy contraption. But I had to show you guys in order to fully, thoroughly teach you. And that line is looking crazy too. So every once in a while, when you have that crazy line, you can go in with the first brush and buff it out. I mean, you can still kind of see it, but it's really not that bad. You have to be like staring at my eye and like examining it in order to see it. So I've got a good blend on it, which is good. Don't ask me why I started fixing the other eye. I have no idea. So yeah, you can always go back over to the other one and fix the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to take this brush again and take Rockstar and try to mesh those together. Like I did in the other eye. So when you're taking one of these medium brushes, it's actually kind of hard to blend it out, so just go really, really easily. Maybe circular motions, yeah, circular motions help, definitely. Sometimes all you have to do is like tap it really lightly, like on the side, on the corner. Like doop, 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 doop. Really lightly, and that will help too. Oh yeah, see, that's not bad. It's starting to blend out really nicely. And of course, this is literally the reason why I do my eyes first and I don't do my face, is because sometimes you get a lot of fallout. So tonight I did my face first, obviously, because, you know, my face wasn't the thing that was going to be showcased, so I didn't really care. And I'm not going anywhere, thank God. But, you know, just had to get that out there to let you guys know. Don't do your base before you do your eyes, unless you're really talented in that, because I'm not. I can't, no. Okay guys, so if you want to go back and forth and make sure that, like, you know, each section basically looks the same, so like the pink is like the same width, and then, you know, the black is all blended in, you know, you just basically want to look at it for a couple minutes and see if it makes sense. And any area that does not make sense, I suggest you go back over either with the smallest brush from the beginning, the pink brush, if you're blending stuff up here. If you want to put more eyeshadow on your eyelid, I want to keep mine like this, but if you wanted to go back in with that eyeshadow and just pack it on, you could also do that. That would work. And you could also deepen up your crease. You didn't have to deepen up your eyeshadow. You could also deepen up your crease, which I'm going to show you in the shimmer part of this. So this one was like the matte one, even though I did technically use a shimmer at the end. But this one technically was like the matte version. If you guys like doing shimmery looks, then keep on watching, because I'm going to show you guys how to blend shimmery looks as well.
Okay, so now that I'm editing, I'm taking care of Caleb, but I didn't get a chance to do the shimmery looks, but I will most definitely be posting that soon. I was so tired when I made this video, as you could probably tell, but I really wanted to do a video, you guys, that like incorporated a Valentine's Day look and, you know, how to blend. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry if you wanted to see a shimmery look, but I do shimmery looks all of the time. It's literally what I live for. So it will come, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.